Okay, we're gonna spend our last video on time focusing on how to calculate for a start time. So if I'm given an end time and the amount of elapsed time, can I calculate backwards to figure out when something started? So we can use the same steps that we used before, but we have to remember that our time is going backwards this time and not forward, okay? So again, I'm gonna start with the minutes. I'm at 1:02 p.m. I wanna work myself back to the next even hour, so I'm gonna work back to 1 o'clock. So to get from 1:02 to 1 p.m. I'm actually going to use 2 minutes. Okay, now I have 56 left to use, right, if I've used 2 of them so far. So I need to go backwards 56 more minutes, and now I've got to figure out what time that puts me at. I'm at an even 1 o'clock, so now as soon as I go backwards, I'm going to be in the 12 o'clock hour. So I know this is going to be a 12. Okay, then we have to remember there are 60 minutes in an hour, so when I'm at that even mark, it can mean 0 or 60, right? I'm at the 60-minute mark. If I go back 56, 60 minus 56, I end up at 4. So this is actually going to put me at 12:04 p.m. And I've now used all my minutes. Here's my 58 minutes calculated. Now I still have 5 hours left to go. So if I start at the 12 on my clock and work my way back 5, so 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, it'll be 7:04. And here's where it gets a little tricky. I'm actually going to be at AM. The reason for that is once you cross backwards from 12 o'clock into the 11 o'clock hour, you will shift from either AM to PM or PM to AM. So since we were in PM around noon, right? As soon as we go backwards, it's 11 AM, 10, 9, 8, and then 7. So this calculates out our 5 hours. And I've now used my entire 5 hours and 58 minutes, making my start time 7:04 a.m. All right, let's look at one more example. If my end time is 3:17 and I work backwards 4 hours and 1 minute, I'm going to use the same steps. Start with minutes. Okay, if I use 1 minute, I'm going to be at 3:16 p.m. Okay, now I have 4 hours left to go backwards. So think if I'm at 3 o'clock and I work my way back 2, 1, 0, right? 0 on a clock. It means once we've passed that 1, we end up back at the 12, right? 3, 2, 1, 0. That straight up and down mark would be 12. So 12 o'clock, and then I've got 1 more hour to go back. It's going to make it 11. 11, 16, and again we have to think about the AM, PM. Once I worked back to that 12, it was 12 p.m. or noon. Now that I've gone backwards to that 11 o'clock, I've switched again from PM to AM. So watch, if you go backwards and you pass that noon into the 11 o'clock hour, you are switching AM to PM or PM to AM. So after 4 hours and 1 minute, our start time calculates out to be 11:16 a.m. So just keep in mind for calculating start time, you need to work backwards and you need to watch your AM and PM.